Good morning and welcome to the morning show. I am so happy you're joining us because I know you have lots of options where you could spend your day, and I'm so glad you're enjoying us. So my name is Marshall Shore.
And I'm Michael Mazzacco.
And where are we? The
fabulous Arizona Center.
Indeed. And oh my gosh, you know, I love the fact that we are, as the closer we get to the Worldwide Women in Film Festival, that every day we have somebody highlighting a different film, and so excited to see the film that they're talking about this afternoon. So, oh my gosh.
I like when it's strong women making their voice heard, because women are going to rule the world, and I love it. I'm all about it.
Exactly. So you'll stick around with us because we'll bring them on. We have our usual shtick of things to do and celebrations and all that. But but we'll be right back after this break. Hello and welcome to the morning show on this post-Hump Day episode. I know, exactly.
How very fun.
So I'm Marshall Shore.
And I'm Michael Mazzacco.
And thank you so much for being here. And we are, where are we?
The
fabulous Arizona Center.
Keeps getting bigger and bigger and better.
Exactly.
I love it.
I mean, pretty soon like some jazz hands.
Oh, I've been doing jazz hands.
Yeah.
Hello.
So, and you know, one of the things I love about doing this show is working with so many of the guests that are coming to us from the Worldwide Women Film Festival. And so today is no exception. We have Cindy, Kat, and Nina. They are here with their film, The Stories They Didn't Tell Us, Nina's story. So, Nina, tell us about the story.
It's about the stories I didn't tell my adult children, all through them growing up. The story of my life in Vietnam as a child during the war, their escape at the fall of Saigon in '75, and my life as a refugee, after that.
So, is this a big group that put this movie together?
Well, I can let Kat talk about the specifics. She was part of the team that filmed it. But we're actually a small, nimble, local Phoenix group. And this is actually my first film, first documentary, first film. And so because I'm self-funding, we did it in a sort of everybody wearing many hats.
Okay.
So I was the director and the producer. Kat was director of photography and editor. Nina, we tortured her. She was on camera, and she told us her story. Yeah.
So, how was it? How did your relationship with each other change? So, as you hear these stories kind of coming out and working with them day to day.
Well, maybe I'll start with how we started.
Okay.
So, I actually, the stories they didn't tell us is actually my lived experience as a Korean American daughter of immigrants. So there were a lot of stories my father didn't tell us, and I was actually planning to interview him with our small group film team. And 3.5 weeks before we were scheduled to go out to California to shoot him, he hit his head, fell, and died.
Oh.
So Nina is a friend. I called her and told her, and Nina said, "I'm here for you." And so I thought about it, and I said, "Could you be here for me and let me interview you instead?" And her reaction was, "Oh gosh." Because
I meant casserole, like double casseroles.
So she was not ready for that, but she thought about it and she said, "You know what? Yes, I will do this for you." And so it became about the stories that she didn't tell her children. She has 3 adult children in their 20s, and she had never told them the stories. So,
Wow.
so that became the origin for interviewing Nina. And then one of her daughters said, "Oh, I would do it." So we interviewed her, and then the other two kids were like, "Oh, well, Phoebe did it. We would have done it too." So I ran over on separate days with my iPhone and, positioned them with natural lighting, and we filmed it all. And Kat edited it, put it together, and that's the story.
So, Kat, how, as you were seeing these stories kind of playing out in front of you, what lessons did you learn?
I think the biggest lesson is just, you never know what someone has been through or what their past is. And so just hearing this incredible story from Nina, and it's just thinking like, if you saw her at a glance, or just anyone, you would never have known or think that someone had went through something like that in their childhood. And so I guess it comes to the, old saying of don't judge a book by its cover, I guess you could say.
No, that is indeed very true.
And being able to put it together, editing it into a story for people to see, that's like one of the most rewarding things for me as an editor and as a videographer. Being able to share the stories to people and to a larger audience that wouldn't have known or would have never guessed, and just help people be more aware of people's past and things that they have gone through, and yeah.
Well, I think it's so important that the three of you kind of have come together. And I'm sure you got even closer through this. And so, what do you hope people walk away from seeing your movie?
One of the things that we've all come to realize in showing the film is that the stories they didn't tell us is universal. So it's not just the immigrant experience, which it very much is, and a lot of people have come up and said, "Oh, that was my story," or "Oh, that really resonated with me," or some version of "that was my story." I can relate to that. But there are other people. Two examples that come to mind. A friend, she said, "Oh, my Italian grandparents, I knew somehow that my grandmother was always in the doghouse, and it turned out that she had had a child out of wedlock before she married the grandfather, and so he didn't, things like that." Or another friend said she heard a story from her father that the grandfather who had passed away, he and his brother had robbed a train during the Depression to feed their families. She said, "I would have wanted to know that story. Like, what did you steal?"
Right.
Right? So it's pretty much universal, because families don't always tell their stories for lots of reasons. Either it's too painful, or they just don't want to burden their children, or that's not their reality anymore, and so they've put that somewhere else.
So, Nina, what was the reaction of your children hearing these stories for the first time?
Well, I think in the documentary they talked about, never hearing any story, and some of the details and some of the very pivotal experience that I went through in my life, they actually saw it during the documentary screening.
Oh.
And so, interestingly, I still, the grown-up, the adults, when we get together is precious, rare time, because their lives are busy, they're training. And so I still find it, difficult to say, "Sit down, let me tell you, about the boat trip. Let me tell you about this." Because it just, there's a wall, I think, for me, and I think for them, they don't want to ask because they know it's hard for me. So does that answer your question, their reaction? So right now, what they ask is, and I think what I decided is I'm going to write about it for them, because then it allows me the time and the opportunity to process some of their maybe private, painful parts and not have to vomit it on them, you know, in
Right.
person. So maybe that, you know, so that, I think that's it. But, and I think it was, you know, I think about it, and I think it was a good decision on my part not to tell them, not to burden them, because I think children's needs to see the world that's safe. And if they knew that I wasn't safe as a child or later, then they may not growing up feeling safe, if that makes any sense.
Oh, very much so.
Yeah.
I mean, I know even in my own family, it's like my dad is now starting to talk about his childhood and things that I never knew. I
Right.
had no clue. And it's just like, wow. I mean, I've spent my entire life with him and just now learning all these nuances.
But I think also when parents go through such trauma like that,
Yeah.
that affects the children, and so they'll find behavior that was a direct link because of what you experienced.
Right.
I know that I feel
Right.
that way with my mother and her grandmother, you know, her mom's experience in the Indian boarding schools. There are things that have affected our family through the generations.
Yeah.
And so I'm sure that will shed light on that for them as well.
Right. I knew, I knew that they would have some generational trauma unintentionally. You know, as I said in the film, I knew they would have some of that. But I didn't want it to intentionally put it on them. I wanted them to hold me accountable if I was not, you know, being whatever kind or not being, and saying no instead of excusing me, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and you know, it's this documentary. It's been a gift in a way. You know, as Cindy knows, I didn't think it was going to be shown in festival. I thought it was just going to be shown in a class project or something. And
did you do a little bait and switch? It's like,
No,
by the way.
but you know,
okay.
it kind of ends up being like go big or go home, right?
Yeah.
So once you make this thing and you think, wow, you know, Nina told such an amazing story, and her kids, obviously in the film, they don't know the story, and they talk about how they felt about, you know, it's little, don't know how to ask. So, and then they actually learned the story when I screened it for them, and so there was various reactions there, but. And so you make this thing and you realize, wow, Nina didn't, and her family told this amazing story, and here it is. So let's put it out there.
Right.
And so we didn't know, you know, I didn't know any better. It's like, oh, let's put it into some film festivals and see what happens. And the Worldwide Women's Film Festival is a local Arizona, Phoenix-based film festival.
Right.
Worldwide Women's Film
Yeah,
Festival.
no, I mean, that's what's great. I mean, it's like, I mean, you pretty much have like a big chunk of the globe right here.
So we've got a bit of United Nations right here.
Right.
And
Yeah.
so it's just really great to be able to share it with audiences and because we're screening twice in March.
Okay.
So just great to share with audiences, and also to feature like, hey, Kat, she's quiet, but she actually, if you like the way this film looks, Kat, you know. So anyway,
amazing.
yeah.
Well, and I mean, that storytelling of that editing is such an important piece
Yeah.
and such a labor of love that to tell that story and sitting there cutting, splicing, and tweaking. So, looking forward to really seeing the film.
I am too.
So when can people see it?
Well, on, not to be specific, but on Saturday, March 8th at 5:50, it's in a block of films at the Worldwide Women's Film Festival, which is held at Harkins Shea 14 in Scottsdale. And then, if you don't catch it then, on Sunday, March 9th, at 520, it's in a block of short films also at the Harkins Shea 14.
Ah,
Yeah, so you can see it on the big screen.
very cool. And I think we have a trailer.
Oh, fun.
My dad got drafted into the South Vietnam Army. We lived there in the base from 68 to 72. I think that was the beginning of the Americans pulling out of Vietnam. I do remember it was hard in Saigon. Life was hard.
At any point in time, I think my mom could have started talking about all the things she went through, and I think she deliberately didn't.
She never sat us down and talked us through, this is what I went through, and we never asked necessarily. We never asked her directly.
She never really gave us like a ton of details about it. And like anything with the war, I have no idea what happened with that.
Wow. Nina, thank you so much for stepping up and in the situations just saying, yes, I will tell my story.
Yeah, you know, actually, it's. I was thinking about it this week. It's been a gift for me, even though I've been dragged and, you know, into it, because not only is it the stories I didn't tell my children enough, but it's also the story I didn't tell myself. And so now that the genie's out of the bottle,
Right.
I'm actually brave enough to look at some of the, you know, the box of mementos and memories and things in writing. So it's been a gift because I'm revisiting back about the stories that I had pushed down. So it's been a gift.
I think that is so incredibly brave and so special that you could share this with your family and the world now.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. So thank you all so much for joining us.
It's been a delight. We're happy to talk about the film, and thank you for having us. It's
Oh,
been great.
my pleasure. I'm so happy you could be here. And so we'll be right back after this break with our usual shtick of celebrations, birthdays, history, and all that fun stuff. Oh my gosh, you know what? That was so much fun.
It was intensely beautiful.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, when I say fun, it's not like, haha, but
Yeah.
just like, wow.
Yeah, yeah.
What
Just how that came about in their story, I'm absolutely so intrigued.
And how so many people are in that same category where it's like, they're just stories they don't tell, right? And so, but we are going to tell a story about some Arizona history. All right, so basically in 1913, Tucson's mayor was complaining to the police about stray horses grazing in his front yard. And you know, it wasn't unusual to have people finding cattle, burros, or horses just kind of languishing in their yard, enjoying the grass. So even those, I mean, we'd been a state for a year, and you know, as Michael brought up, it's like, you know, and they're still talking about those wild horses and what do they do with them?
Right, exactly.
So the more things change, the more they stay the same. So, all right, so now let's do some celebrations. All right. Well, you know, we are in the middle of celebrate your name week. And so today is name tag day.
Oh,
so
fun.
we should be wearing those big red, my name is. But no, I did not bring any. So we don't have any.
I had an experience where I went shopping after networking, and I'm going down the aisles, and I think I'm looking good because everyone's smiling at me and looking at me and smiling, and I still had my name tag on, and I was just embarrassed.
Indeed, it's I always forget to take it off.
Yeah, exactly. Always forget to take it off.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Or it just falls off on its own sometimes. All right. Also, today is National Dress Day. From really ornate, quite elaborate dresses to a little black dress, we're celebrating all of those things that just showcase figures.
Well, fabulous.
Indeed. And Frozen Food Day.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, because Clarence Birdseye, back in the 20s, discovered how you flash freeze things. And this fast forward to 1950, where pretty much everything was frozen, from TV dinners to, and you can still find lots of frozen vegetables.
Absolutely.
I mean, I tend to go more frozen just because if I buy them fresh, I'm not going to use them fast enough.
It's just easier.
It's just easier, indeed.
Yeah.
It is. So, stock up and free, or even break things and then freeze it. So.
We do that all the time.
Do indeed. And then I'm so excited because it's Oreo Day, hence why we have all these Oreos. And so we have a sampling of, mint, dark chocolate, and classic Oreos. And it's all because in 1912, on this date in New York City, Michael's like, hey, wait a minute. You had the Oreos and then you put them down. So, yeah. So, I mean, those Oreo sandwich cookies had become a classic, basically 1912. I just realized it's Statehood Day. So, statehood and
Oreo.
And Oreos.
Huh. I think they're equally good, but maybe Oreo might win out a little bit. Just a little bit.
And there were so many different flavors. I mean, there were flavors I couldn't find because you were talking about the Coke flavors.
Yeah, there's Coke. There's even birthday cake now.
Oh, I tried that once.
No, not a fan.
No, not a fan.
Okay.
And so, but the dark chocolate is quite tasty.
It is.
And so, lots of good Oreos. So, all right. So, besides eating Oreos, what are some other things we can do as we're running around Phoenix?
Well, gear up, Buttercup. There's a lot of freaky things going on today in Phoenix. And it may be Thursday, but we're going to celebrate Freaky Friday. Okay, so Mesa Center for the Arts, 7:30. I told you, everything good happens at Mesa Center for the Arts. So it's Freaky Friday the musical, which is based on that phenomenal book. And then we all know the movie, and then the remake of the movie, and then the new movie. So it's a classic story that's been told over and over. And I just love it. It's so much fun. But that is going to be running through March 16th at 7:30 at Mesa Center for the Arts. Tickets are $24 to $30. What a blast. And then Shakespeare in the Garden at Starlight Memorial Park in Tempe.
Oh.
So that is tonight at 6 p.m. and they are doing A Midsummer's Night Dream, my favorite. My mistress was the monster is in love, near to her close and consecrated hour, while she was in her droll and sleep. Oh, well, you get the idea, right? A little puck for you. But that's from 6 to 10, Midsummer Night Dream in Tempe. $45 for adults and $25 for those seniors and students. I think I might qualify for the 25. I'm close to it.
And we won't say why. Which end of the scale?
Yeah, no.
Right.
No idea. Also, we have Dan Levy's comedy show. That's going to be quite exciting at Tempe Improv. Everything's going on in Tempe tonight.
I know.
At 7:30. Dan Levy's at the Tempe Improv this Thursday. Levy was recently the co-host of HGTV's House Hunters, Comedians on the Couch, and is coming off of John Mulaney's From Scratch International Comedy Arena Tour. Or is that Mulaney? I don't know.
I have no clue.
I like Mulaney. I'm a Disney fan. And that's from 7:30 to 9 p.m. So we're not the only ones funny going on today. And then we have the Monkey and the Pirate Puppet Show. Oh, you love puppets. There you go. It's the Monkey and the Pirate Puppet Show. Performance at Great Arizona Puppet Theater in Phoenix.
So, you know, they also do adult puppet slams, and I've seen that monkey do some things you should never see. Just saying. So.
Well, that is at 10 a.m. A monkey, a pirate, and a valuable banana. Right there. Okay, end of story. We're done. 15 for adults, 13 for adult members, $10 for children. I don't know about that. And 85 for children member, free for infants. So bravo. Lots going on around the valley, but we're going to end it with trivia night at Catalyst Crafted Ales in Tempe once again at 6:30. So if you want to be anywhere, you need to go to Tempe tonight or Mesa. That's from 6:30 to 9:30. Trivia night at Catalyst. How fun.
Wow. There's a lot going on. Look
And
at
it's a
that.
Thursday.
I know. That's crazy.
We got it going on.
Indeed we do. All right, so let's talk some birthdays.
Okay.
It's your birthday. Jump up, go have a great day. Everyone has come to see you. Make a wish and hope it comes true.
So there's an iconic comedy bit, Who's on First?
Oh, love it.
I don't know, third base. That was Costello and Abbott, and today is Lou Costello's birthday.
Oh, fantastic.
So, I mean, they were in a slew of movies that were very funny. They were vaudeville and then became partners, and their most famous bit is that Who's on First.
Completely.
So I just
good
thought
stuff.
I just thought it was kind of worth saying, hey, you know, let's celebrate him today. Alan Greenspan, an economist and financial advisor, was the chairman of the Federal Reserve from 1987 to 2006. He is 98 years old today.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. And still out there. Oh, and Shaquille O'Neal, because, you know, we love our sports on this show.
Absolutely. Total sporty spice.
So, you know, Shaquille, who is turning 52 today, has won 3 consecutive NBA championships, and as well as MVPs. And, you know, 3rd rank all-time field goal.
Field goal?
I think that's I think that's the wrong sport.
Yeah, I think it's the wrong sport. I
So-
think it's another sport.
Yeah. So,
Yay, Shaq.
Yay! 52 years old.
Birthday.
And then, you know,
Oh,
Harriet Tubman.
bravo.
Exactly, you know, and I was looking through, it's like they really weren't quite sure, but they kind of pinned it down to they think today was her birthday back in 1820.
Wow.
I mean, she basically was an escaped slave who became an abolitionist and helped so many other slaves escape through the Underground Railroad. So there you go.
That's an American hero.
That is indeed an American hero. So, oh my gosh, what a Thursday we've had.
Absolutely. We're getting Freaky Friday on Thursday, and I'm loving it.
I know. Who knows? Who knows what Friday is going to bring? You'll have to tune in to find out exactly what Friday does bring. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.